afternoon. Today is September 22nd, and it's 4:02 p.m. Please call the roll.
Chairperson Wani Garza,
Here.
Vice Chair Ted Masiacos, Alderman Jonathan Nunez,
Here.
Alderwoman Shweta Bade,
Here.
Alderman at Large Keith Larson, 3 present.
Okay. The first item is approval of the minutes for 25-0718 from September 8.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Bay, second Alderman Nunez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 3-0. We have public comments?
No, we do not.
Okay. The first item in the agenda is 25-0619, a resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of the new pumping equipment for a new well in 105 in the not-to-exceed amount of $178,213.00. Hello.
No.
I don't think it's on. It's not on?
No.
I didn't hear.
The mic. Yeah, here. it
The
is.
one is on, yes.
Okay. Very good. There we go. All right. So this item is the final phase for this project. It's phase 3, basically. The first phase was the drilling of the well, which was completed last year. The second phase is the underground work that's still ongoing, putting in the underground piping, vaults, and all the appurtenances to get the water out of the well into the collector main. This phase 3 here now is to procure the actual pump and the motor to be installed after we get that in-house. So this went out to bid through the new OpenGov system. We opened bids on September 10th, and we had 3 bidders: Lane Christensen, Municipal Well and Pump, and Well Water Solutions, all very well-known well dealers and service providers in the area. We had asked for a base bid and 3 alternates. What we're looking to get approved today is basically alternate 3, which is the lowest cost item, but it does meet our technical specifications, and it's within our budget parameters. So that's what we're looking to get approved today. Get a contract with Water Well Solutions to complete the project.
Question, Chairman?
Yes.
When is the project scheduled to be completed by following this step?
Yeah, so we're looking at a 22-week lead time once we get approval here to order the equipment. So yeah, it's going to be next year for sure. Yeah, by the time that equipment rolls in, gets installed, everything gets completed, and we commission the well. So it'll be next year.
So springtime, possibly?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Chairwoman. There's a huge difference in the amount. We estimated 256K, and the Water Well Solution, Elburn, gave 178K approximately. So any concerns about that, or it's a good thing?
No, I mean, the engineer's estimate, it is what it is. They don't have all the exact details on the specific pump and motor combinations and things like that, so they kind of come up with a number. We're fine with that.
That is very good to have a lower bid, and just the quality is what we are expecting.
Yeah, it's an alternate, so we're specifying a different motor, which is a lower cost item. If our base bid had almost a 1-year lead time, 48 weeks. So, and plus that's outside of our budget parameters on our base bid, so we're not going that route. We're going with the most cost effective.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Alderwoman Bay, second Alderman Nunez. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is 25-0663, a resolution authorizing procurement of enterprise agreement for GIS software from Environmental System Research Institute ESR of Redlands, California, in the amount of $562,100 for the 3-year term plus 2 year in year 3 of ARCGIS Indoors and Businesses Analyst.
Good afternoon, Tim Shields, GIS Manager. So this item is for the renewal of our enterprise licensing of the GIS software that we use citywide. It's something that we went into an agreement with back in 2022 when we determined that it was more cost-effective and strategic to go with enterprise licensing versus buying all of the individual software pieces. For this item, we have locked in the rate for the enterprise agreement itself for the $180,400 for years 1, 2, and 3. And then for the additional software that's not covered from the enterprise licensing of ArcGIS Indoors and Business Analyst, that was quoted in year 1, and then we have cost estimates of what that would be in year 2 and year 3, assuming a standard software increase of 10% for each year. So that's why we just have the estimates of what it'll cost in year 2 and year 3, because we'll get those quotes in year 2 and year 3 to renew those additional softwares. But the pricing for the enterprise agreement is locked in at that rate for the entire 3 years of the term.
Questions, comments? Yes?
Could you just share with us a little bit about the different departments and teams that use the GIS technology?
Sure. So the GIS technology is used by every department and division within the city. We have a very strong presence within Public Works and Public Safety. Some of the integrations that we have into our mission-critical business systems include the 311 system that we have, the 911 CAD and dispatch system. We also integrate into our permitting and code enforcement software known as Trackit for development services. So the platform itself is used as a system of record for, I would say, over 200 layers. And then we have those integrations with the other business systems, and then why we chose to use the enterprise agreement, back 3 years ago is because now we're trying to take it from just being just a system of record to also becoming a system of insight and a system of collaboration as we expand the use of it to go outside of Public Works and Public Safety and Development Services and get the technology into everyone's hands at the city.
Second question.
Yes.
Regarding users, so the enterprise approach gets us access to as many users as we need with all the departments, or how does?
So it's a tiered model based on license types. So with the enterprise agreement, we'll have it's unlimited viewers, but then it's a tiered approach on the level of editing access. And we'll have, I think, approximately 700 editors available to us, and we currently have a little over 500 users within the system today. So we think we'll have enough room to grow into that user base as well into the future.
Great. And this is a sole source provider, correct?
Correct, yeah. Esri is the only one who sells their software, so we do have it as part of the state contract as noted in the item, and then the sole source letter as well. And then I think Exhibit D of the additional software, we also have what the state contract price would be for that software, and then what the cost of the software would be based on us having an enterprise agreement, because they give you additional discounts for software that falls out of the base agreement.
Thank you.
Okay. Motion approved, Alderwoman Bay, second Alderman Nunez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
First, the second item is 25-0702, a resolution authorizing the purchase of golf course patio furniture and portable bar from Sisters Bay Furniture Company using the Tips and USA Cooperative contract for $67,586.10 for the Golf Operation Fund.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Committee. Jeff Schmidt, Superintendent of Golf Operations out at Phillips Park Golf Course. The golf course is seeking authorization to purchase golf course patio furniture and a portable bar from Sister Bay Company using the Tips USA cooperative contract from the Golf Operations Fund. We want to look at purchasing this patio furniture to have adequate patio furniture and provide comfort for our golf patrons, as well as a portable bar to service our golf patrons through special events when we host at the golf course. The current picnic tables I have are not adequate. They're uncomfortable. They're just not aesthetically appealing to, shall we say, linger after a round of golf and hang out to provide services for the golf course and gain revenue. The lack of a portable bar also creates an inconvenience for the golf patrons when we have events. They have to come inside to purchase their drinks versus we could have something outdoors with the use of our iPads that's connected with our network to our POS system to where we can process transactions and prevent the golfers from coming inside and losing sales. City participates in TIPS USA contracting, and this was a purchase off of that contract. Sister Bay is a company that's pretty reputable. We were able to travel across the border just into Wisconsin to view the product, to feel it, to touch it, to see how durability was made in the USA and assembled here right across the border. So we're looking to secure this delivery in the fall of 25. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks from approval to purchase to bring it in.
Okay. So this is a picture of what they look like, a table and chairs, similar all like that, the pictures you put in here?
Yeah, correct. If you look at this map right here,
Yeah.
this is kind of a design layout. That patio is located on the north side of the clubhouse, on that walking path that connects the park to the golf course. And that patio overlooks the 18th green, number 10 tee box and green. It's a very beautiful view out back. But that's kind of a schematic of how we would lay it out. We've got 6 tables at seat 4, and then we've got a couple of benches on each end to be those will actually have cushions on them that we'll take in over the wintertime. With 2 fire pits there. We'll be used propane, and we'll secure those, especially during the off-season after hours. And then a couple other benches with a couple of seats just to kind of break it up, to allow us to move the tables around for seating purposes. But yeah, all the pictures included are exactly what we're looking at obtaining.
They're going to be my question. They're going to be in wintertime, so we're going to remove inside the whole furniture, only the...
Just the cushions will come inside, and the 2 fire pits
So
we'll bring
it's
inside.
like the plastic, or what is the kind of material? It's not a wood, no?
No, it's recycled plastic.
Recycled plastic.
Very durable, very heavy, extremely heavy, and
Yeah.
it's
Even in wintertime, they not break it, nothing like that?
no, we've got the patio tables out back that are made from the same materials, and they've been out there for about 7-8 years. You wouldn't tell it. It's non-fading.
Okay.
It's the only thing that we would bring in those 2 fire pits and the cushions. And depending, how funds are look, we may look at maybe see if we can get some covers to put over top of them, or we've got covers from the picnic tables that we currently have to see if maybe they'll fit over them to keep them over the winter time. The storage is limited at the golf course to bring that in, and it is extremely heavy to move.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is you guys have funds for that, and it's good,
Yes.
right? Yeah, yeah.
Just a couple questions, Mr. Schmidt. Regarding the mobile bar, where would that be? laid out? I don't
It
see that
doesn't
photo.
show it on there, but it'd be brought in and positioned, conveniently on the patio or on the south side of the cart path. We've actually got a brick paver pad that when during the summer months, we put a portable grill out there that we would position right there so it's facing the customers, and/or we would just move it onto the patio somewhere. There's plenty of space to add that, to include that.
And just for everyone else's visibility, could you touch a little bit on the number of golfers you have coming through the golf course every year, or the number of outings, just to really paint the picture?
Sure. We're projected to play between 38 and 40,000 rounds at Phillips Park Golf Course. Prior to COVID, we were in that 28 to 30, 31. So golf is up extremely, 30 to 40%. That doesn't count the use of the 3-hole short course that is exploded with new golfers to the game, families going out there to play, as well as just using the driving range and the practice putting green. Events, large events, we'll do, 12 to 15 large events, not counting any of the small events, any of the traveling leagues that pass through, any of the high school events. Like tomorrow, we've got 2 conference events with the girls' high school, Duquesne and DVC. Each one have got 100 players. And that's a perfect venue when it's all set up for next season to push everybody outside, to enjoy the outside view, watch the golfers come in on 18 and heckle, if you want, per se. No, not in a conference tournament. But golf has really boomed, and we're doing very well.
That's great.
Appreciate that, thank you.
It's nice if they want to look nicer, probably they invite more people to come,
Yep.
right?
And you get
And
people to spend more on food and everything
with-
following the round.
Yeah.
And our hopes is to attract some of the patrons from Phillips Park as well, to come up through the park and patronize the tap and grill, because we've really expanded the menu with drinks, food options, and that golfers have. It's been very receptive to the golfers. Our food and banners are doing a wonderful job promoting that, and we're seeing the benefits.
That's great. We need more live and beautiful things in Phillips Park. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I know you mentioned to me why we are getting the furniture this late in the year. Can you please mention it to the council?
Yeah, the golf course did its due diligence on trying to locate a vendor on this, and patio furniture versus golf course patio furniture is two different things. And it was very difficult for us to find a vendor versus flying blind per se. And our almost options were to just buy retail off the street. And it's not something that's long lasting, it's not durable. We need commercial retail patio furniture. And this vendor popped up. We get flyers all the time from various vendors, and they just happen to be on the tips. Also happen to be across the border where we could drive up to take a look at it, again, feel it, touch it, see how durable it is, and actually be able to get a hands-on experience with it.
Great.
And
Great.
one more thing, just
Yes.
a comment. Thank you for mentioning that, Jeff, that the existing furniture will be repurposed, so we're not getting rid of the whole current furniture, and we're still looking at where that furniture will be placed.
That is correct. We have 10 tables out back that each seat about 6, and there's 9 that seats 6, and then also 1 handicap accessible table as well. I've talked to Steve in the Parks Department, the Superintendent of Parks, and he and I will work together, if it does pass, that, we'll repurpose those picnic tables somewhere throughout the city parks. I'll retain a couple or 2 or 3 at the golf course to maybe put out on the short course, one at our first tee, and that. But the rest, I've talked to Steve, and we're going to work together and repurpose those and relocate those somewhere in the park so they're being recycled per se.
Thank you.
Great. Well, now we have Alderman Ted Masiacos here. So, Alderman, you wanted make comments about
I'd
the
like to
Phillips
ask a
Park
question.
Shore area?
Yes, thank you. My apologies, I wasn't here at the exact beginning of this resolution, so you might have answered this question already, but I appreciate what you do out there at the golf course, you and your entire team. You guys are handing out the park day in, day out with golf services there. My question is this, though, making sure that there's some consistency. You mentioned aesthetics, and being an architect, you're saying aesthetically unappealing. Someone made a decision somewhere along the way to purchase these, right? Aesthetically unappealing. So I don't know if it's something that you would answer, or maybe it's a higher staff question, making sure that we're getting proper furniture or equipment, that if there is an aesthetic concern, we are looking at it aesthetically at the product, and make sure we're not doing a catalog buy. So I'm glad you're bringing it up, that they're aesthetically unappealing. My family and I tend to bike through there on a regular basis. It's nice. The park is aesthetically appealing, so you want aesthetically appealing furniture. But how do we keep going? How do we keep moving forward? And that's my question from a policy perspective, so we're not doing catalog buys.
So prior to bringing on a food and beverage manager, we initially to put picnic tables out on the patio to provide seating for the customers and that. Now that we have a food and manager in place, it's something we've worked towards. What can we do to provide a better atmosphere out back for golfers to, when they get done with their round of golf, to want to linger, to stay and play, to stay and have some drinks in comfort and that. She and I researched this, and she and I felt this purchase will meet those needs. That's why we're glad they were also local, where we didn't buy out of the catalog. We traveled up to Wisconsin to take a look at this product, to see how it's displayed as well, but also to see how it's made as well for longevity. And we are confident that this purchase will meet those needs out on the patio to provide a good atmosphere for golfers before and after and during the round of golf.
Okay. I know we talked about this too. I'm going to add a little bit onto that, and because you brought up the menu, getting the menu online. So patrons, or at least who are on the golf course or maybe even haven't gone to the golf course yet, know that they have that option in their thoughts before they make a decision to go somewhere else, maybe around the corner on Hill Avenue or even further down Hill Avenue to some other establishment, and knowing that they have a viable option to hang out. I think it's Comfortable Center right there too, what you have with the addition that we put in a few years ago. So I think that's very pertinent to getting that menu online as well, moving forward for the golf course. So I appreciate the time, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Alderwoman Bate.
Second.
Second, Alderman Telmesiacos. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Next item is 25-0739, a resolution to approve an amendment to existing contract with HR Green in the amount of $247,259.51 for the purpose of land acquisition.
Jason Bauer with the Department of Public Works. So this project is the section of Bilter that is further east of all the construction that's going on now over by Farnsworth and Bilter. This project is currently slated for federal funding, so we're in the early stages of engineering, so don't imagine this construction would happen until maybe 2028. We came forth previously with a contract with HR Green to start looking at the geometry to figure out what we were going to do with the roadway, and we are at that point now. So we're basically expanding to match the section over by where we're almost all the way to DuPage Parkway. So it's going to go to 4 lanes through that entire stretch, and there's going to be sidewalk on one side and a multi-use trail on the south side, which will tie into the prairie path there. We now know enough in terms of the geometry and the footprint of the project and the grading that we know exactly what kind of right-of-way takes we need, because now since we're widening the roadway out, we do need to acquire some property. So we are going to work with HR Green, and they have a sub-consultant that's going to be doing the appraisals and the negotiations, and then once we get a little further along in that process, then we'll come back and give a status report as to what we think those dollar amounts are going to be, and then look forward to getting permission to start acquiring those properties. We want to make sure we get all of that done and out of the way before we start the federal process, because if we do this at a later date, sometimes it can take a lot longer. So we just want to stay ahead of things and make sure we're on pace for construction.
Okay. Questions, comments? Yes?
Thank you, Chairwoman. So did I hear that it will be 4 lanes till DuPage Parkway on Bilter?
Yes.
Is that so? I know there are 2 ponds next to.
The project stops just shy of the ponds. Actually, it's not all the way. We'll probably look geometrically and from just an overall project standpoint, because they always want to have logical termini and just stopping randomly. But the construction, the bulk of the widening is all to the west of the ponds.
Okay, because Ward 1 and Ward 10, we are trying to get some solution for that area because of the traffic concerns and as well safety concerns. So just want to make sure, like if we place some speed radar signs or chevrons or some other things, is it the right time to do it now, or we should wait?
So actually that area, we submitted a grant to do a detailed study and look to implement more improvements to what is already in the plan.
Okay.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get another grant to address that area. But yeah, if for some reason that grant falls through, we would definitely look at that.
So if you're going to have 4 lanes, is it going to be till the county line road or further east?
No, right around the county line road, yeah.
Okay. There'll be more congestion there then, from 2 lanes to, 4 lanes to 2 lanes.
Yeah, well, and again,
concern?
we're just looking at the right of way now. So once we
Okay.
actually get to the phase 2 design, and we will iron all of those details out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you,
is very preliminary. We're not even in the full phase 1 study yet. So.
Okay.
But we just know this takes a long time, so we want to get started.
Okay. Can't wait to hear more about it.
Well, we'll be back.
Okay, thank you, Jason.
Thanks.
Okay. Questions, comments, though? Okay.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion approved by Alderwoman Bate, second Alderman Nunez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 4-0. Okay, the next item is 25-0740, a resolution authorizing the Director of Purchasing to execute contract with change orders for ongoing work on River Ridge Park for the Jumbotron purchases and paver replacement.
Okay, Jason Bauer, again, Department of Public Works. And so this one, so right now at the park, we have 4 Jumbotrons that are up and operational during concerts. We actually, when we procured those 4 3 years ago, we actually bought a 5th that we were gonna be, that's set to go on the beverage pavilion. But now we've got this expanded area south of the beverage pavilion with the tiered, with the grass hill, and we're talking about doing possibly movies or anything like that, but even just to make sure people can feel like they're part of the concert and the experience when they're there, we want to get more Jumbotrons down there. The plan originally was to maybe look at a trailer-mounted one that we would just bring in on a rental, but it's, with everything else we've got going on there and how nice everything looks, now is really the time to go ahead forward with putting in the last 2 that we've known we've needed for quite some time. With the park closed down all the way up until next concert season, this gives us enough time to create the structures to hang them and also procure them. They do have a long lead time, so we want to get out ahead of that and get everything ordered. We're going to be buying from the same company we bought the previous 5 from, so all the equipment is interchangeable and nobody that's running the park is going to need to learn anything new. It's going to have the same storage carts, the same system for setup and takedown before and after events. The other component of this, since we are coming forward with the change order for Wegman to build those structures for us, is we're going to be doing some more paver work. We've expanded, if you're familiar with the park, north of that seating hill, there's a mixture of concrete and pavers. Everything coming to the south now along the new beverage pavilion and going all the way down to the new gate entry where we're going to be setting up Kindle vendors and food trucks. We place, all of that was done in pavers. To tie in the old pavers to the new pavers, there were some ADA issues that we needed to work out, and then there's a few spots in the existing paver area that have just deteriorated over the years, and we want to make sure, since we're here and we're doing all that work and the paver company is there, to go ahead and get all that stuff taken care of now.
So they want to using the money we approval in the past for this, or is additional for the June?
It's all part of the same CIP.
It's
It's all
part of
it's
that?
all
Okay.
same. It's the same budgeted CIP.
Okay.
Correct. Yep.
All right,
Just a different contract.
yeah. Questions, comments?
Motion to approve.
Yes? Yeah.
Okay.
Motion approved. Oh, second.
Okay.
question, Madam
Motion-
Chair.
Oh, you have a question?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Yes, okay.
I'm an architect, I got a
Yes.
question, yes. So this falls under the existing budget for the park?
Yeah, this was part of the overall part.
So.
The overall
So
budget. Yes.
just real briefly, well, then why are you coming for an approval process if it's part of that CIP and what we've approved already to finance?
Well,
the
we
park?
approved the CIP as a part of the budget process, but every individual contract, we still just have to come forward to
Okay.
actually make the purchase.
So then my next question is this mission critical to put up this extra Jumbotron?
I would think to get someone to actually want to attend the concert in this section, because there's no direct line of sight to the stage, I think the Jumbotrons are pretty critical.
Is this a request from ACA?
No, this was, so currently, the way they've used this area before, again, they used to bring a screen in on a trailer for if they had a larger event that they needed to expand on into this area. So the
So-
long-term plan was to always have the Jumbotrons.
I'm trying to figure out in my head, I mean, is this something that's going to potentially bring more revenue? I don't know if that's a question that you can answer. I think it's more of a staff question, third floor question, understanding, are we trying to sell more tickets and allow the sale of more tickets so that the revenue is going to help take care of this? Because right now we have, as all my colleagues here and my other colleagues that aren't here know, that there is a request for additional funding. It's the biggest surprise. It's like the biggest secret everybody in Aurora knows about. And this is about $500,000. I mean, how much is it in total? Around
This-
$500,000?
The screens were 600,000, the structure is another 2,
Okay,
so
so.
7 to 8, somewhere in there.
That's a fair amount of dollars that can go to help some of the funding that they're asking for, perhaps, in this next budget cycle.
Sure. Well, the projection right now is that by taking that area in, we'll be able to increase by roughly 1,000. We haven't gotten everything fine-tuned, but ACA was predicting that they could increase tickets by 1,000 to 1,500, which would bring in hopefully larger acts to get us past that 5,000-ish threshold that we're at right now. So without using this green space and everything south of the new beverage pavilion, that would impact probably how many more tickets you could sell. And I guess in terms of mission critical and other projects, we have looked at other projects that we can scale back on this year and things that we, that maybe aren't necessary to go forward in 2025. But given that the park is under construction, it makes more sense to do it rather than try and find another time to get it all straightened away.
Yeah, I know there's been an effort by the mayor's office, the mayor personally, and also Ms. Chief of Staff Shannon Cameron, and have already brought costs down considerably in a few areas since they took over, and it's not going to affect design or its operation or its safety. So I just want to figure out a better explanation that I can also share with the community on why we're moving forward with this, especially with what the request is from ACA.
Shannon. Oh, no. Hello, Shannon Cameron, Chief of Staff. So Mr. Bauer was instrumental in those cost-cutting measures for the cameras too. I just want to bring that in IT as well. I think that if you remember, I wish we had the image, and maybe we'll bring that to Cal so people can remember what the new design looks like there. There's actually in the middle of River Edge Park, kind of the new beverage pavilion, kind of has a semicircle, and on top of it is a graded grassy area with another kind of area up there that it's like another sky deck sort of area. So that actually blocks the view for the other part. If you're on the other side of the park, that's why those jumbotrons are useful. If you don't have that access over there, it's very unlikely that people would want to be over there, and therefore they probably want to only be on the other side of the park, where other people might have little kids, might want to have a picnic, might want to kind of hang out in the grassy area away from the larger crowd, might really like that area, but without having a view of the show, there'd be no interest probably. So that is, and we can bring that to Cal, that image, so it's a better, I think, visual, so you can see that. But as far as, I think right now is finishing this project so we can be open for next summer. If we don't do that, it will, I would say, probably, most likely would reduce the number. I don't know if it guarantees more people, but it would guarantee that less of the park could be used in that way.
Which, if I'm understanding this correctly, based on what I'm hearing here, so less patrons affects the ability to get these acts that request more patrons or patron capacity. Am I correct? So big picture wise, we're trying to put this in to bring in some quality acts to the downtown core that they've been evading us for a few years.
Yeah, that's correct. And all the other efforts backstage that
Okay.
all of the acts that have been coming in have been saying, well, it's a beautiful venue, but unfortunately you don't have facilities for us and changing rooms and, areas for our staff and all. And, when they come in with their tour buses, they're all just kind of stuck on their bus rather than having somewhere that they can actually get out.
I appreciate that. I think it requires a little clarity,
Sure.
because I know you guys I know the staff's been working diligently since day zero hour, since the inauguration to get ahead of this and cut costs, and very appreciative of everything that's been done. But I just want the community to understand why we're moving forward. Well, I anticipate we're going to be moving forward. I'd like to see this move forward as well. So thank you, Madam Chair. There's no more questions.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion approved by Alderwoman Bate. Second, Alderman Nunez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 4-0. Thank you. Next item is 25-0741, a resolution authorizing the Director of Purchasing to execute a change order to existing contract with the Ratio Architects in the amount of $105,270 for design services at River Edge Park.
Again, Jason Bauer, Department of Public Works. So this one is for change order to Ratio. They are the contract, or the architect, excuse me, that's been working on this project for a long time now. I feel maybe 2 years or so. And there were a couple things that were scope changes that occurred along the way, and they've been fantastic jumping on these things and getting to them, and just knowing like we have to stay the course, given that we're trying to get everything done to be open and ready for Kindle, which fortunately it looks like we are. So there'll still be some temporary construction fencing, but overall the project is moving to the point where the Kindle people have come in, they've seen everything that's there, and they're excited about the new layout. But with time being as critical as it was on this project, there were a number of things that popped up along the way. Two of the bigger issues would have required utility relocations, which we certainly could have done. But now you're talking about time delays, and time delays really, and then the cost of the utility relocation. So when you actually go to the park, and again, I think like Shannon said, getting a visual loaded up would make sense and be helpful. But in the middle of the park where the new beverage pavilion is, that's actually going over 3 massive utilities. We did our best to identify exactly where they were. We did some hydro excavating with water and sewer. But given the scope of the foundations that had to go around those, 2 of the foundations were too close to one of the pipes. So we had to do a redesign, which, as Alderman Masiacos knows, it's not just moving a foundation. Now you've got to look at the floor plan. You've got to look at what needs to move for this wall. So there's a lot of drawings with a lot of bubbles on them, because it's kind of a cascading effect. It's not just the foundation. It's relocating this, it's relocating that, it's changing the dimension of a room a little bit. So we had 2 of those. But again, the small increase in the fees, and that they were able to help us work through this problem and redesign these buildings without having to get into those expensive utility relocations, that was massive, and definitely a good savings measure. The other big savings measure that we had was we did a little extra foundation redesign with them too. There's attached to the beverage pavilion, there's a very tall retaining wall, which we need for ADA compliance. So the old hill in the middle, there's actually a wall along the east side of it now that serves as a ramp for someone in a wheelchair to be able to get up to that new viewing deck that Shannon was talking about. And the initial numbers for the foundation system for that were pretty extensive. So we worked again with Ratio and the geotechnical engineer, and we came up with a much more cost-effective design that shaved about $300,000 off of the foundations overall. So with working with a good architect like that, who is working hand in hand with R.C. Wegman, it was really nice. We were able to keep things moving, and again, with Mission Critical being ready for Chris Kindle Market, they've helped us stay on target with that. So more than happy to answer any questions.
Questions, comments?
Motion to approve.
I have a question, Chairwoman.
Yes?
So regarding the high voltage line from ComEd, we weren't aware of it before?
No, and that one really wasn't the
through it.
one that caused the biggest issue. The biggest issue was the storm. We actually designed the entire building to go around these structures. So the high voltage was fine. It was the storm sewer. It didn't run in an exactly straight line like we thought it might, which it should have, but it didn't. And the way the foundations are with the overdig to get the drilled piers in, it maybe could have fit, but the contractor was like, hey, let's move this thing. We need to move this thing by a couple of feet. I don't really feel comfortable drilling this close to this pipe, which could have really set things back if we damaged that storm sewer.
And some of this work has already been started, right, prior to this proposal being put in front of us?
Correct.
Is there a way for future projects, or even in this project, if there is more work that does need to be done, that's somehow brought ahead of time instead of?
Yeah,
Again,
we try
get
to.
the timeline
Yeah,
side of it.
Yeah,
but
definitely. We try our best to, but yeah, sometimes we're kind of caught up in the moment and trying to keep things moving. But definitely noted when we try to do that as much as we can.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
I think it's important, Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes?
I think it's also important to understand that architect or engineering team, a design team comes on a specific plan in mind, and when things happen under construction and unforeseens, it's not like everything. Maybe we just keep going back to them. It's like they're just waiting for us to. above and beyond their expectations. So it's understandable that they want to be compensated for additional work that wasn't planned or unforeseen for this project. So it's things that they can't control either, and neither can the contractor, and I think we couldn't either. So, but I think staff's already expressed that they did their best faith effort to try to locate things and try to figure things out, and sometimes you just got to keep moving and figure it out as you go along too. It's hard to figure out where everything is in the ground and how deep it really is and where exactly it is located in relation to everything. So, and sometimes you can draw it up, but it doesn't mean you know exactly where it is. It's all drawings are diagrammatic, and it's easy to put a line down, but then it's not as easy to dig and find out exactly how to put it down in the ground. So I appreciate everybody's efforts because I have a little bit more insight into these types of projects, and I know that we're in good hands here with our staff too. So that's why I made a motion to approve.
One quick clarification. I think I misunderstood so there's two power lines on the site. One is by the beverage pavilion. That's the very high voltage one. So when you said high voltage, I was thinking that one because we didn't have a conflict with that. But there was another ComEd line that was that had a conflict at the gate, and that's the one you were talking about. Yeah, sorry about that. And again, we could have look to get that relocated, but the time delays for the small changes that they were able to make to keep things moving just made a lot more sense to rearrange the floor plan a little bit.
I appreciate
sorry
that.
about that.
Understandable. No, appreciate that. Thank you.
So one more thing, if I may, Madam Chair,
Yes.
add one more thing. And they're working at a very expedient type of a schedule to try to make up time, accelerate the work in order to be able to meet some of our contractual requirements as well with Chris Kindle Market, which is a very important client for ACA and a very now new attraction, a positive, very attractive attraction for not only for Aurorans but for people who do visit Aurora to come to that venue too. So another reason why probably why we have this going on right now.
Definitely. They were a big component of a lot of the different elements that went into the design, was making sure that it worked better for Kindle than it did before.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So is a motion already for Alderman Telmesiacos?
Second.
Second, Alderwoman Bate. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 4-0. Thank you. Next item, and the last one, is 25-0742, a resolution authorizing the Director of Purchasing to execute a contract with National Technologies, Inc. in the amount of $60,000 for the fiber relocation in association with the Francois and Bilter roadway improvement project.
Good afternoon, Jason Bauer still with the Department of Public Works. So this one, pretty straightforward. Pretty much every utility in this area needed to be relocated. We've been working with NICOR, AT&T, ComEd. I mean, if you've been by the area, there's a lot of those contractors that are out there are working on the private utilities. A couple other utilities that need to relocate it or be relocated are not privately owned. They're part of the city's infrastructure. One of those being the water main, and that project is underway with this existing contractor. For the fiber relocation, we go through NTI. The city adopted the Kane County bid for NTI to provide fiber services to the city. So every year there's always a budget for various fiber work that currently those contracts go to NTI, and we've been working with them for this relocation. We need to get the line moved so that we can get all of the new infrastructure in, and they've already been out there doing a little bit of work. They were able to do some tie-overs so that the existing line wasn't directly in the contractor's way, but now we actually need to go forward and put in a new line to replace that once the project is done and the new curb lines are in and the pavement's expanded, then we'll put the new fiber in the ground when it's a safer time to do it.
Questions, comments?
Chairwoman?
Yeah?
So the proposal was for $58,000, and then in the notes section, it mentions that permitting, engineering are not included. Taxes aren't included as well. So do we expect that to still remain under the $60,000 mark?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were tax exempt,
Yeah.
so that probably wouldn't come into play. And all the permitting, there are permits. So I think some of that's just their standard language that they have on their contracts. But yeah, there's no permitting fee associated with it, and no engineering.
Perfect.
Yep.
Just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
No, thanks.
Okay. Motion approved by Alderwoman Bate. Second, Alderman Nunez. All in favor say aye. Motion passed 4-0. Thank you. Another item in the agenda. Motion adjourned by Sora Bate. Second, Alderman Nunez. All in favor say aye. Okay, we adjourn the meeting at 4:47. Thank you very much.